we'll create a couple setups. So if you're playing a jet, right? Most jet entry path is gonna just dash this way. They're probably gonna smoke here or here and then dash into it. So you could do a trip like this. You do a basic trip, like you could do like a low trip like this. So whenever they dash out, they'll get hit by this one. And then if you're like anywhere in this area, you'll get a free kill. So that'll be like your anti-jet dash setup. So make sure you don't put trips there. Make sure you put trips where you think the entry guy will run into him, right? So you could do one here. There's one here you could do. You could even do something like creative like this, where like they'll probably go into it, just running into it or whatever. You got to think about where you're gonna position yourself, and you got to think about what agents you're playing. So if you're playing a Sova, when you have no teammate like anywhere around you, then they're gonna dart either here or here. Sometimes they'll dart like on giraffe, or they'll dart close. It depends on who you're playing. Like you'll get a feel for things usually. But if they dart these things, a good spot to play is like you can trip like on lane, and then you could do, I don't know about cages, but you could play here. If you play here and say like you drop a cage here, the dart won't ping you, and they'll run up site thinking that like this is all clear. They'll be preeming these, and then you're just like sitting on this box here, and you can like pop a cage early if you want, just like one way it, something like that. It's pretty ratty, but it's pretty sick. You'll see the setup I do on pistol all the time is I'll throw a trip here, and then I'll put like a cage not directly in the middle of the sidewalk, but like a little bit to the right. And because you can hide in this area, and people never expect this, so if you're hiding here and they're all running out, you can just peek out, get a quick kill, maybe get like 2 kills. If you get 2 kills, then your job is done. Like you did a really good job that round. And then this is just like a basic tip for your camera, right? So if you notice, like when it's blue, obviously you can place it, but the key is if you want to get it higher than, or to the highest point, you basically, like for example, like you can't just like put your shit here, right? You can't put it here, but if you put your blue thing here, like you go to the highest point, your camera turns red, and then you jump, and then you just click, and then that's how to get the highest camera possible in whatever location you're in. That's why you'll see me, or you saw me in the rank game earlier. I was like in order to get a high camera here, you can't just like throw it up here, like because you're on the ground. But if you get higher elevation, like on this box, go up to the highest point where it turns blue, and then jump, and that's how you get the highest camera possible. So whenever you play a decent team, they do shock darts to kill your trips. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you double bounce a shock dart, doesn't matter what power you do. If you do 2 bounces, or the shock dart kills a trip or an alarm bot, stuff like that. That's why you'll see in pro games where Sovas, if they double bounce something, it looks like a cool lineup, but the thing is, like if you double bounce it, it'll give an audio cue that they killed it. So you'll see like sometimes Spencer has like a shock dart lineup that'll like bounce off this, and then it'll land here to kill this trip. That's why you see those things. Some basic trips that you guys can do is just like you do a trip for mid. If they're killing this trip, like sometimes like people will just spam this one on accident. Then you can do one here. This one's not bad either. It does this, it accomplishes the same goal, but they can obviously like kind of clear market with this one, but they won't shock dart it probably. So let's say you're playing ranked, right? And you're like Cypher, and you're like, all right, I want to play mid this round or whatever, and then you throw a cage there. You just do like a basic B trip, and then your camera's up here. You don't pop your cage right, or you don't pop your camera right away. You want to wait until like you hear them at mid, like they're just spamming here and then you're like, all right, we need some information, like how many are mid or whatever, and then you pop this camera and you can see like everything basically. And then you can pop this, like I don't know, try to get like some grief kills, whatever. You can't put your camera on this like ledge unless you jump onto the top generator, which is like jump here, and then you'll see like what I was saying earlier, where it turns blue and then you jump and you can put it even higher. And the reason this camera is good, because whenever people come out A main, they look left, right. As long as the camera is not on their peripheral or like on their screen at all, it's not going to show where the camera is on their minimap. If you guys notice, like a lot of times there's a camera like over here, and like that your teammates are like coming out and they like do like this or something, and they're like, and then someone else is like, oh yeah, I saw the camera's on like above shroud or whatever, right? Like you guys see that sometimes. This camera is good because it's above them, and they're not gonna like, I mean, some people might, I don't know, but that's why like a camera like this would be good. For example, another cool cam spot is like you just jump on this, and you can put it high up here. It's not bad. Because like whenever people are coming into sight, you want to like get their aim out of like these positions, right? So if they hear a camera up here, they have to turn all the way up here to kill it. And then like if you're just like here, you might be able to get like a gimmick kill or whatever. I'll show the trips I do know. See, you can do this one. Yeah, this one. So this trip's good because they have to commit. Like look how hard it is to kill this trip, right? Like they have to come all the way out here to kill it. And if they're coming on this side, they have to come all the way out here to kill it. Like they're literally almost touching it. Unless they're limbo masters. So if your cam is up already and you crouch and then you tap your camera, your guy will stay crouched. Right? I'll show you some trips that actually like still get me to this day. This trip gets me. This trip gets me sometimes. This one's really annoying. Cause like if you close the door, you can close the door with this trip, right? So like say we're doing a cat split and like we need to break the door. We break the door and like this trip is just right here. And like it's impossible to see because it's inside of the door. It's pretty good. Any trip off these stairs is pretty decent. This one's good. You can do one like this. Like these are all like really good trips that people, you'll probably get free kills. If it's a Cypher that plays really defensively, then like they'll put their camera like high up in a spot where if you're past this point, you're committed to the site, right? Like committed to a site is not back here, it's past like this line. So like that's what I classify as a defensive Cypher. Like their camera's here, right? It's not like, it's not here where like it'll just be shot. Like you know if they're on the camera, they're already committed. So you can play around your cages like this. This is really good. Like once they exec and you're staying here and your camera's like here, you're like just chilling here, you see a dart coming, you like ping, or you pop both cages and you just play inside of it, and hopefully like you can dodge the dart with your cages. That's like ideal, because then they'll think the site's clear since their dart got 3 pings. Trip like this is good for the bomb planner. Trips like this, anything like in this lane right here is pretty decent as well. So if you trip like this and you have like any high pin gun, which is like an Odin, an Ares, a Sheriff, and you're playing here, I know this sounds like kind of grief, but if someone does run into your trip and you're playing here, like you just get a free kill, like 100%. If you tell your team you want to play retake on A, like what would you do? You'd probably do like some passive trips like this, like these, and then you can even do on hell, dude. Honestly, like this is probably worth you this, because if they hit this and you're just like here with a Odin, like that's a free kill. You can do like a troll one like this or some like if they run into this trip and you have anyone in this area, you're just gonna get a free kill. You could pop you could just like pre-place a cage there before the round starts. Pop that. I see a lot of Cyphers do this cage. So anywhere on this like ledge, right? Anywhere on this ledge, it does this cage. This cage is really good, like really good, because it basically allows your teammates to flood out of the bomb site like this. Like, and they won't know if you're out or not because it covers heaven and it covers hell as well. I don't know, something like that. Basically, what it allows you to do is like you can pop it and you can one-way these guys like this. But I kind of messed it up and it went like way too left. I'm not even aiming anything. I'm just kind of throwing it. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Any short A trips? I mean, any of these trips are good. Like, you could do stuff like this. Like, just basic, like, anything on this wall is good. Because you know, like, if they break this trip, they're committed, right? Like, that's all the information that you need. There's no, like, sick trips you can do that'll, like, 100% catch someone. Like, these are just trips for information. For map coverage, or map control, right? So, in my experience, like, whenever I play against Cyphers, they're usually taking B main control. What they'll do is like they either do a cam here, right? But like if I'm playing against a Cypher and I hear this camera, like if they're doing like this camera instantly, I'll just like quickly peek and try to kill it fast, and they have no information for 45 seconds. And without their camera, they're forced to use their other utility, so they'll probably do a cage here and then a cage here. And like to me, like I conceded B main control, but made him waste his camera. He doesn't have his camera for 45 seconds, and he also doesn't have 2 cages, right? That's a win in my book. So like if you're playing like in a scrim and like it's just the Cypher doing like the most basic like this camera to just get control of it, just try to kill this camera, dude. Or like if you're playing a killjoy, you want to kill the turret and fall back. Some Cyphers will do that. They'll pre-cage, pop it obviously, cam, then they have B main control, right? Some Cyphers will just instantly at the beginning of their round, they'll cam up here. Like this is a really strong camera, like really strong camera, because you can see the whole site. It's pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes like in ranked, I'll just like bounce a cage off this and just like pop it, because it kind of allows you to just get out. Like there's a cage here and like the guy's cat. Okay, that's a terrible cage, but like they have to like commit all the way out here to like see if there's anyone out, stuff like that. It's not bad. It's not ideal, but you know. So like any map that we go on, we look at the map and we decide what synergies what comp we're gonna run based on the synergies that we have available. So I think like Phoenix and Cypher are pretty good together, because you can do like a cam, and then once like you have a Cypher or Phoenix here, and then once the cam sees somebody, the Phoenix is here, he just shows a flash and then he peeks and kills people, right? It's like plays like that I think make differences in this game. Whereas like this game, like it depends on the agents as well. It's not just like the players.